Good morning, everyone. This is Rajendra Mori, and today I am here to discuss the regulation of plant growth by plant hormones. Plant hormones or plant growth hormones or plant growth regulators are same thing. So these plant growth regulators or plant growth hormones, how they regulate the plant growth and development. So all these things we will discuss today. Today's life, the five main groups of plant growth hormones. So these five main groups of plant growth hormones or plant growth regulators are: first, auxin; second, cytokinins; and number three, ethylene, that is also known as the gaseous hormone or ripening hormone. Number four, abscisic acid, ABA, that is also known as the dormant causing hormones. And number five is gibberellins, that is the gibberellic acid. So Brassica rapa, ये model plant species for experimentation, design and begin group gibberellic acid experiments. These are the main five groups: auxin, cytokinin, ethylene, abscisic acid, gibberellins. Hormones. So, what is the etymology of hormones? And hormone term came from which language? So, hormone term came from Greek word hormone. And this Greek word hormone means to stimulate. So, hormones are substances or chemicals that is transported and causes specific physiological effects. So these substances or chemicals that is transported from one location to other location and will causes the specific physiological effects, that is hormones. Or in case of the for phytohormones, that is the natural growth hormones, that is synthesis in one location. After that, that translocate from one place to another place, and they will show their effects on other location. So this is the wonderful thing, especially for natural growth hormones. They synthesis in another location and they will show their effects on other locations. Although a topic throughout biology, in this course, we will use plants as examples. So we can see the in today's lecture, regulation of growth hormones, we will discuss by using of plants as examples. Hormones in plants. Hormones can have effects on the cells that produce them and after transport at the target cells or tissues. So hormones can have effects on the cells that produce them and after transport at the target cells or tissues. So hormones can have inhibitory rather than stimulatory effects. So we can see the plant growth hormones have both inhibitory as well as stimulatory effects. So particularly these growth hormones can have inhibitory rather than stimulatory effects. So five main groups based on chemical structures. So those we already mentioned: auxin, cytokinin, ethylene, abscisic acid, and gibberellins. So these five main groups of growth hormones, and thus these five main groups are based on chemical structure of these growth hormones. So first we will talk for the auxins. So auxin production. So just before this slide, I mentioned the hormones. Natural hormones in auxin group, that is the IAA, indole acetic acid. That is synthesis in these two tips. I mean the indole acetic acid, that is the natural auxin hormone that naturally synthesized in the shoot tips. So we can say the synthesis location or site is the shoot tips, and that is the translocate, and this auxin hormone we can use as a rooting hormone. So synthesis point is the shoot tips, and that can translocate on the axillary buds or even in the uh, basal part. So there it will helpful in the root initiation or root development. Then developing seeds for, so auxin hormone is also synthesized in the developing seeds. So I mean the in young seeds. Then some known actions. So establishment of polarity of root shoot axis during embryogenesis. So we can see it will establish the polarity of root shoot axis during the embryogenesis. So this is polarity is the very important term, physiological term. And what is the meaning of this? So we can say the in any piece of a stem, what is the important thing for that? Root development is nearest point of root systems, and shoot develops nearest point of the shoot, or we can say the foliage shoot develop. So this is the polarity. So sometime in plant propagation, if we will change the directions, I mean the bottom part is top or top one is the bottom, then that will fail. No root development, no shoot development occurs in that. So polarity is very important. And this auxin hormone is very important for establishment of the polarity for root and shoot axis during the embryogenesis. And some second important action of auxins is cell elongation. So it is also helpful in the cell multiplication or cell elongation, then cell differentiation, and apical dominance. This is the very, very important effect. So what happens in the apical dominance? Sometimes you observe that the tip portion of the branches or plant that is growing vertically continuously. Why? Because just before we discussed the natural auxin hormone, that is synthesis in the shoot tips, and that natural auxin indole acetic acid, that synthesis in the shoot tips, and that light, that likes the light. So that's why tip portion of the plant or shoot, that is the growing towards the light. So maybe you studied the Arvina curvature test. That is when we grow the young seedlings of Arvina. So that will bend towards the light. That is the main reason. So that apical portion of the plant is dominant, that is growing towards. So that is due to natural oxygen hormones. That is apical dominance. Then lateral root formation. So a oxygen hormone, especially in plant propagation, even the cutting propagation or layerings, we treat the cuttings or griddled area with the rooting hormones. That is the oxygen hormone. So rooting hormone is most commercially used, that is the IBA, indole butyric acid. However, we can also use the natural oxygen hormones, that is the IAA, indole acetic acid. But the synthesis of that, biosynthesis of that natural oxygen hormone is very expensive. So that's why we prefer the synthetic oxygen hormone, that is the IBA, that is cheap and easily available. So use of oxygens in lateral root formation and adventitious root formation is very important. Then fruit formation. So in fruit formation, oxygen is also plays very important role. If you studied about the NAA, naphthalene acetic acid, that is also synthetic oxygen hormone, and that got popularity particularly for pineapple crops. So we can say the IAA, NAA, they can also good for the fruit set and fruit development. So sometimes 2,4-D malic hydroxides, these oxygen hormones also be used for the flower initiation and fruit set as well as the fruit development, etc. So Darwin's experiment, Charles and Son. So we can say in this, under normal conditions, shoot tips bend towards the light. So you can say here, this is the seed. This is a seed. So after germination, development of the roots, and this one in the shoot portion. So you can see this shoot portion, this tip portion is bending towards the light. This side is the lights. So this is explaining the apical dominance of this plant. Then next one is the without light on the tip, no bending. So I mean in another experiment, no light. So the tip portion is growing vertically. So in this, it is clear that this shoot tip is bending towards the light, and that is the main reason of apical dominance. Then when not a tip collar does not prevent bending. So collars impervious to light. So conclusion of this experiment is light is sensed at the tip, but responds not at tip. So we can say the shoot tip portion of a plant sends the light, but the response of that light not at tip. New hypothesis of this experiment: a substance or chemical is transported. Oxygen later isolated from the shoot tips and establishment along. Evidence for the role of oxygens in apical dominance. So you can see this diagram. So in this one is the shoot tip, that is the oxygen source that already I told you. Natural oxygen hormone IAA, indole acetic acid, that is synthesis in the shoot tip region. And you can see the here axillary buds, developing of axillary buds. So that synthesized natural oxygen hormone, that synthesis in the shoot tip, and that can translocate in axillary buds. So in shoot tip region is high oxygen concentration, but in case of the axillary buds is low oxygen concentrations. So when we remove the shoot tip, that is the, we can say, removal of apical dominance. So when we will remove the apical dominance, then it will promote the growth of axillary buds. So from axillary buds, you will see the new branches, secondary branches. So axillary buds no longer inhibited. So that's why for controlling the plant height, we remove the apical dominance of that plant. So this one is also a main reason. So in case of the pruning, this is the commercially practiced. And if you know the marigold, and we can say the chrysanthemums, so in these plants, we do the pinching to remove the apical dominance. So that will promote the more branching, increase the number of branches. So if more number of branches, that will produce the more number of flowers. So we can say this is the main reason to increase the yield of marigold, chrysanthemum, etc. flowers. Evidence for the role of oxygen in adventitious root formation. So here you can see with synthetic oxygens or without synthetic oxygens. So you can see here in first bottle, adventitious root flow growing from the stem tissues. So in first bottle, we use the synthetic oxygen hormone. So that is, for example, IBA, indole butyric acid. So in this, and second one is the no synthetic oxygen hormone. So we can say the in second bottle is no root formation. But in first bottle, you can see the in the bottom of the stem tissues, you can see the large number of roots, and also you can see the better leaf as compared to second bottles. Evidence for the role of oxygen in formation of fruit and structure of similar functions. So receptacle in strawberry. So in strawberry, normal conditions, all HN is removed. Band of HN is removed. So without seed formation, fruit do not develop. Developing seeds are a source of genes. What do you expect? So, for seed development, oxygen source is main. So, not shown oxygen replacement restores normal fruit formation and can be used to produce seedless fruits. So we can say auxins can be used commercially to produce these seedless fruits. However, too much auxins and certain synthetic auxin hormones also used as a commercial herbicides like 2,4-D. Second group is cytokinin. So production of cytokinins is primarily root tips. So similarly, in auxin group, synthetic growth hormone was IAA, indole acetic acid, that synthesis in the shoot tubes. But in case of the cytokinin group, the natural cytokinin hormone, that is the just opposite and synthesis in the primarily in root tips. So what is the name of that natural cytokinin hormone? That is zeatin. So zeatin synthesis in the root tips. And what is the function? So I mean the as per the definition of hormones that stimulate in one location after translocation from that synthesis point that will show their effects in other location. So we can say this natural cytokinins, that is the zeatin synthesis in the root tips. After that, after synthesis, that translocate and reach in the tip portion, and that is helpful in the root flower initiation or fruit set. So some main known actions of the cytokinins is cell division, cytokinesis. So we can see the cytokinin like 6 BAP, 6 benzyl aminopurine, BAP, zeatin, chitin, and also TDZ, thidiazurone. So these are the different growth hormones in the group of cytokinins. And these are plays very important role in the cell division. So for cell division, it is helpful to increase the shape and size of the plants. And second one, the in plant tissue culture. So in plant tissue culture, cytokinin hormone is used on large scale. So particularly for this, for cell multiplication or cell division is the major role. So we can say the in plant tissue culture is different phases. Inoculation, first stage. Second one is the for multiplication or proliferation. Then third phase for in vitro rooting, and fourth phase acclimatization. So the cytokinin group In that the 6-BAP, kinetin, TDZ, etc. plays significant role for shoot or explant establishment. And in second phase, for the proliferation or multiplication of shoots, these group cytokinin is very, very important for shoot multiplication. So in this one is the BAP or 6-BAP, 6-benzyl aminopurine is very important for shoot multiplication. Then delay leaf senescence. So we can say the if any plant showing the senescence effect, so by spraying of cytokinins, we can delay the leaf senescence in the plants. And also the other functions is very important for the inducing the flowering in plants. So I mean the if in some plants it has the problem in flowering, then we can spray the cytokinin hormones on the plants that will helpful in flowering initiation as well as the fruit set in the plants. So we can see the cytokinin group plays very important role. Cytokinins and auxins. So both group cytokinin and auxin have complexity of plant hormone effects and interactions. So you can see here increasing cytokinin concentration or increase. I mean the we can say the in on y-axis increasing cytokinin concentration, that is the 0, 0.2 or 1.0, and on y-axis x-axis increasing auxin concentration 0, 0.005, then 0.03, 0.18, then 1.08, then 3. So you can see here in case of the 0 cytokinin and 0 auxin, so no, it's very poor performance. Or only we are increasing the cytokinins, but auxin is 0, then is also not a satisfactory response. Or in case of if we are increasing only auxin, that is the 0.005, but cytokinin is 0, that is also not satisfactory. But when you can see if we are increasing the auxin concentration, then you can see the callus formation is increasing. But the color of the callus is not so good, fragile, brownish, etc. But in addition to auxin, if we are adding the cytokinin also, then you can see clear-cut effect is the very good and sound callus formation, as well as if we are increasing the concentration, you can see if we are increasing the cytokinin concentration in 0.22 cytokinin 1.0, then you can see the shoot formation or morphogenesis occurs from the callus. So we can see the from the callus organogenesis effect, you can see if we are increasing the cytokinins along with the auxin. So this one is the example of callus formation of Nicotiana. Nicotiana, that is the tobacco plant. So that belongs to family Solanaceae. So from this data of callus formation, so in this one you can see the clear-cut effects of cytokinins and auxins. And what are the interaction effects of that? So now we highlighted these things in the interaction effect of auxin and cytokinins. Cytokinin delays leaf senescence, aging, and reabsorption of aged organs. So cytokinin delays leaf senescence, aging, and reabsorption of aged organs. So in this one is the genetic modification to increase cytokinin biosynthesis. So you can see here in this first plant is transgenic plant and second one is the untreated. Chelsea बुला रही है किधर? So here the main objective of genetic modification or genetic transformation to increase the cytokinin biosynthesis. So cytokinin biosynthesis, that already I told you, natural cytokinin hormone, that is synthesis in the root tip. So in genetic engineered or genetically modified plants, if biosynthesis of cytokinin increase, that is increasing the induction of flowers in the plant. So you can see in this picture is clear-cut differences between transgenic and untreated plants. Number 3 is ethylene. Ethylene, that is the third group of the growth hormones. So this one is also known as the ripening hormone as well as the gaseous hormone. So particularly in horticulture for fruit ripening, this plays very important roles. So production of ethylene in most tissues under stress, senescence or ripening. So in most tissues under plant is under stress or when it is in the senescence, or we can say the fruit ripening. So very good example of ripening is watermelon and muskmelon. So you can see the clear-cut effects of these hormones in muskmelon and watermelons. So you know the in fruits are two groups, non-climacteric fruits or climacteric fruits. So in climacteric fruits, ethylene hormone plays very important role, that is the ripening hormone. So if evolution of ethylene is too high, then these fruits we will consider in the climacteric fruits, and that is very important for fruit ripening. So here you can see the some known actions of fruit ripening. Fruit ripening now in these days, bananas, sapota, mango, even the papaya, these fruits we can ripen. However, these fruits can ripe naturally, but artificially we can also ripe these fruits. So particularly sapota and banana. We use the ethifone or ethyl. These are the trade names of ethylene growth hormones. So we have to prepare the solution of ethyl or ethifone hormones. After that, the banana bunches, supporters, etc. we can dip in that solution and we can keep in the airtight room. After some time, you will see the all fruits will ripe. So that is the artificial ripening. So now in these days, fruit ripening or for color development, this ethylene hormone plays very important role. Then second one is the leaf and flower senescence. So we can say the on the plant leaf development, flower development that will cause the senescence that is due to ethylene hormones. Then leaf and fruit abscission. So we can say the leaf and fruit abscission. Sometimes we can see, we notice the shedding of leaves or fruits from the mother plant. That is due to abscission. So controlled separation of plant part from the main body. So that is the causes by the ethylene hormones, that is the ripening hormones. Then next one is the floral sex determination in monoecious species promote females. Monoecious plants are those plants in that male and female flowers bears on separate location on the same plant. So this ethylene hormone we use for the floral sex determination. So obviously if we want to increase the production, we want the more number of fruits, then we need to promote the female flowers. So we can use the ethylene hormones to increase the femaleness or female flowers in the plants. So this ethylene hormone plays very important roles for floral sex determination as well as to promote the femaleness in the plants. Now experiment with plant response. So experimenting with plant response to ethylene commercial usage. So in this one you can see first one is the mutated ethylene receptor and second one the normal ethylene receptor levels. So both are 100 days after picking. So this one is the Lycopersicum that also belongs to family Solanaceae. So we can say the after 100 days of picking these fruits, you can see the clear cut differences in both. In first one is the mutated ethylene receptor and second one is the normal ethylene receptor levels. Experimenting with plant response to ethylene commercial usage. So mutated ethylene receptor, then normal ethylene receptor levels. So that is the 8 days after pollination. Then fourth group of growth hormones, that is the abscisic acid. Abscisic acid production mature leaves, especially under stress. So we can see the especially abscisic acid that cause the dormancy in the plants, and that is the also promote the abscission in the plants. So that can cause the senescence. So mature leaves, especially under stress. So in that you can see the production of abscisic acid. So in mature leaves as well as the fruits, you will see the shedding. That is the separation from the mother plant. That is due to abscission layers. So roots then transported to shoots. So some known actions of abscisic acids. So some known actions are stress response. So due to the abscisic acid, you will see the stress response in the plants. Stimulate stomatal closures. So we can say the in the leaves of a plant has the stomatas that plays very important role, especially in the transpirations. So, due to this abscisic acid hormones that will stimulate the stomatal closures, then inhibit premature germination of seeds, inhibit premature germination of seeds. So that one is also main reason due to abscisic acids. The premature seeds never germinate. Embryogenesis, embryogenesis, the embryo development is also main action of the abscisic acid. Then seed dormancy maintenance. So we can see the abscisic acid induce the seed dormancy. So particularly in the seed industry, some plants they can lose the viability. So to prevent the seed viability, we can treat with the abscisic acids. So we can store the seeds for long time because this abscisic acid induce the seed dormancy, and that seed dormancy is very important, particularly for storage of seeds for long time, or in terms of the seed germination, the abscisic acid is very harmful for that. Then abscisic acid induces stomatal closure. So a simplified diagram you can see here. So in the stomata, in both sides you can see the God cells that is very important for the closing and opening of the stomatas. So these are the guard cells. So solutes, for example, potassium and chloride ions accumulate in guard cells, causing water to accumulate in the guard cells, making them turgid. So we can say the turgidity of these guard cells is helpful in the stomata opening. And when losing the turgidity of these guard cells, that will cause the closing. So you can see here abscisic acid, flaccid gourd cells, stomata closed. So in number one, turgid gourd cells, stomata open. So solids of potassium and chloride ions accumulate in gourd cells and causing water to accumulate in gourd cells, making them turgid. But in second one, that is the flaccid gourd cells, stomata closed. So abscisic acid is one signal that causes gourd cells to release solutes and that thus release water, making them flaccid and closing the stomata between them. And then fifth one and last group is gibberellins, that is the gibberellic acid. So production in young developing shoots and seeds. So that is the synthesis point. So young developing shoots and seeds, that is the synthesis place of the gibberellic acid or gibberellins in the plants. And the actions or functions of these gibberellic acids. So number one, the cell division and cell elongation. So gibberellins multiply the cells and also is very important for cell elongation. So when in plants we want to increase the height, if we spray the gibberellic acid, that will increase the height of the plant. That is due to cell elongation. So if we spray the gibberellic acids, so due to cell elongation, the internodal length will increase. That is the main symptoms of that. And second one is to stimulate seed germination. So in some plants, it have the problem of seed germination. So for increasing the seed germination, we have to treat with the gibberellic acid. So that will increase the germination percentage and stimulate flowering. So for inducing the flowering, we can also spray the gibberellic acid for inducing flowering and stimulate fruit development. So for fruit development, it is very important. So if we want to increase the size of the fruit, then we can spray the gibberellic acids. So you can see the clear-cut effect that is commercially used in the grapes. So if the bunches of the grape fruits we can dip in the gibberellic acid solution, then you will see the grapes elongate and that will increase the size of the fruits. So you can see here commercial use of gibberellic acid, without gibberellic acid or with gibberellic acid. So you can see larger fruits that are easier to clean are. So in the Thompson seedless variety of grapes, you can see with gibberellic acid, the fruit size is bigger and elongate. Or in without gibberellic acid, fruit size is smaller. What are the effects of gibberellic acid on the growth of Brassica rapa? So you can see the effect of gibberellic acid on the Brassica rapa. Why Brassica rapa? Today Brassica rapa, a model plant species for experimentation. What are the effect of gibberellic acid on the growth of Brassica rapa? So you can see many economically viable plants in the Brassicaceae family. broccoli, cabbage, cauliflower, kale, radish, mustard, canola oil. These members of Brassicaceae family have become model plant species. So some characteristics that are important for model species include relatively small genome, easy to grow, rapid life cycle, broadly and thoroughly studied, not atypical genetic tools. So this was my presentation today, and thank you so much. क्यों? मेरी क्लास है अभी। अभी इस टाइम चल रही है। खत्म तो 10 बजे 50 मिनट पे होगी। कल से क्लास है क्या अभी?